All right, let's get into assimilating the Google Cloud here. I'm going to dive right in and share my screen. Here we go. Okay, so Google Cloud, we're going to get into GCP console. All right. And to get started here, a few things to point out that are fun to play around with is I would say Cloud Shell, probably one of the first things that I would recommend when you're launching things in Google Cloud, because you can get in here and start Python, right? We see it's got Python 392, and we can actually do little bits of testing and actually interact with the Google Cloud platform as well. And actually, this is a pretty cool concept, is that a lot of the shell commands are actually pretty useful. In some sense, the API for the shell commands is actually not bad. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, it would be gsutil dash dash help, and then it will give you some suggestions about different things you could do. So, what could we do with gsutil? So the gsutil, I believe, is mostly about storage. So you could copy things into the storage with gsutil. Do rsync, for example. So there's some really cool things you could do with the gsutil command, and you'll see the terminal come up quite a bit. I would say more even than other clouds. You'll see the terminal come up with Google. Now, the other thing they do is they do have this web preview thing, which is kind of cool, and they also have an editor, which is pretty cool. Now, it looks like the editor they're constantly making changes to it. I haven't been in here for a little bit, but it is kind of interesting how they give you, uh, like the raw terminal and then this terminal. What I haven't played around with yet is trying to customize this. I think I'll go ahead and do it since I'm in here. Let's go ahead and change the color theme. I'm really not a fan of that theme. I do like the Visual Studio dark theme. There we go. Feeling a little bit better. And um, this is not a bad environment actually to play around with. And maybe a good thing to start with would be for me to create a companion repo here, and we can go ahead and create a new repo called assimilate GCP. Actually, you know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to use the Python template that I have, which I think would be a good one just to use as a template for this Python template. There we go. So I have a Python template here, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to create a new repo, and then I'm going to call this assimilate GCP. Say setup GCP environment. There we go, and there we go. Okay, so we got this thing hooked up, and then if I look at the SSH keys, we can set these up. Tgen -t RSA. Ooh, not RS. RSA. Perfect. There we go. And now we can go to GitHub, and we can go to SSH and GPG keys, and just say GCP and add that in there. Okay, great. And now, if I wanted to, I can have some code and put some different notes in there. So we'll go ahead and copy this. There we go. Git clone. Perfect. All right, so we're in here. So yeah, I could try to build some stuff inside of here. Let's see if we can get this cooking. I am a fan of doing the virtual environment just to solve problems. I don't remember if this comes with it. I think it does not. Oh, it does. Okay. So we have a version that does come with virtual environment built in, and then what I can do is just edit the bash RC here, and then Notice how, look, even the pros, right? The biggest companies in the world, they always have a source down here to source all their goodies. I'm actually curious. I'm going to look at that because I'm curious to learn from them. So, source VENV. This is really common to have things that you source in your Bash RC. And in fact, we can let's see if I can learn anything from these guys. Sure, there's some cool stuff in here. If I do that, woo. No, I don't want that. I want to say tail Bash RC. I want to basically look at this. What's in there? What are they putting in here? There's some cool stuff, right? They have some aliases in here. They, check disk usage, which is kind of cool. That's kind of fun. Let me try that. I like this. See, I love learning new stuff by looking at people who are better than me. Let's try it out. We're missing this. Ooh, look at that. So what does that do? How much? I think it shows that how much storage? Is it how many gigabytes are left? I don't, in just the home directory. Let's see, home. Where's the home? Oh, home. I don't know what that 8 is giving me, but anyway, kind of fun to play around a little bit with that. But now that I've got this, I can just make another terminal, and now this one will have a virtual environment. And then because I pulled in that other project, it's got like a scaffolding, so I don't have to do anything, right? It's got a bunch of stuff in here set up, so I can literally kind of get a starter kit for Python by just doing make install, and it'll install like some common Python libraries for me. There we go. And if we look at some of these other things, we got a little script here. I can run that. If I just say repeat bash, repeat bash, repeat sh, free foo. There we go. So we got a cool little script there. I even have a Docker file if I wanted to containerize something. So let's see what else we can do inside of this environment. I think this is one of the better ways to start off with learning a cloud platform. And in particular, we can look at this menu here and see what kind of things we can do. So we can see usage stats. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Nah, Google, you have enough of my data. I don't want you to get my other data. So we're going to turn that off. Sorry, but the don't be evil was removed from your culture. Okay, let's there we go. And if we go back to the color theme, now I don't know how you save the color theme. That would be interesting to save workspace as, display hidden files, formats. Visual code workspace. Interesting. I don't know what this does. Via. Yeah, interesting. I'm just going to poke around here. Preferences, color theme. So what's solarized dark? Ew, that's gross. We don't want that. Let's go back to preferences, color theme. We have Visual Studio. Oh, high contrast. I mean, it's kind of cool, actually, but a little too annoying contrast. Visual Studio 213. Sure, we'll just stick with this. What else can we do? So we can upload and download files. We can copy the path. We can do command palettes. We can go to a file. There's a debugger here. Show running tasks. So that's interesting. Create task from template file. So that's about all I can find there. We turn that off. Ephemeral mode is interesting. I think this means that it nukes it on each restart. And I would say no. When you disable this, all files will be lost. You'll return. Oh, no, we don't want to disable that. That's weird. Why would it call it ephemeral? It'd be the opposite. Oh, default. Safe mode. Then we can do download, upload. If I go to download a file, toggle the browser. Oh, that's kind of cool. I can just download something. So that's useful. So I think there's some good stuff in this terminal. And then this one is for web preview. If I was going to run a small little web app, session info, this would be usage quota. So we can see, oh, there's weekly limits, and we've used basically none. What else is this? Restore, open new window. And then there's also this settings and utilities that we could play around with. So that's probably enough for there. But then let's look at this menu over here. We have obviously the file explorer. This looks like it's some kind of Visual Studio-ish thing. We got source control. I mean, I guess I could tell it that there's source somewhere. Let's see here. I don't know what all this is. And we've also got the debugger here. And what is this thing? So this is Cloud AI, no Cloud Run service. Oh, so Cloud Run. I guess this is a for deploying containers. Create a new Cloud Run app. There we go. Python. So that's kind of cool. So you can create like a Flask app, for example. Let's try that out real quick. Yeah, I like this. It's interesting. Very interesting concept. Okay. Here we go. Cloud Run Hello World with Cloud Code. So interesting concept here. So it just puts in a bunch of stuff into your repo. Now, what's weird is that if I change up a directory, what do we got? Oh, it just kind of made a totally new environment for me, which is interesting. And then if we look at the Docker file, it built a Docker file for us right here. So, oh, look, and it's using Alpine, which I do like. It's very fascinating. They're using Alpine, which is the smallest version, and it's going to copy the requirements. So, I mean, this is, even if you don't use Google Cloud, this is some cool stuff to look at. Proc file is interesting. Not sure if I've seen this before, and I don't know exactly what this does. Test content, that's kind of cool. So we have a nice little shell script here. We have pinned requirements, and we have a Docker ignore, so it doesn't pull things in from our environments. Oh, interesting stuff. So let's look at the README now. So it says, this Hello World sample demonstrates how to deploy Hello World using Cloud Run, using the Cloud Code extension for Cloud Shell. So run the app locally with the emulator, then deploy. So let's do it. This seems like a good way to kick the tires on the Google Cloud. So we're going to use the Cloud Run emulator to specify build options. This can run Docker, Jib, build packs. And then basically it says click run if authorized, view the build process output, and then deploy to Cloud Run. So the first thing, so click on the Cloud Code status bar and click run on emulator. So I think it's this one, I believe. And run app on local emulator. Whoa, this looks pretty cool. Oh, okay, so it's local. And then we say build. We want it to build a Docker file. Wow, this looks pretty cool. And then we're going to run it. And it's doing the dependency check. Oh, so it's using Minikube to get our system started. So definitely interesting. So you can see how Minikube in particular is a pretty cool environment to use to test out things that are eventually going to be run in Kubernetes. So it's starting Minikube, so it's downloading Kubernetes version 1.25. It's creating a Docker container, CPUs 2, memory 4,000 megabytes. There we go. Looks pretty interesting. So we still can run a terminal. I'm curious if I do htop, we can see that it in fact it's hammering my environment. Look, we can see the cube admin is actually doing stuff. So that's interesting. So it is actually, I'm assuming what it's doing is it's running Minikube right here, and it's got all this stuff all tricked out, and it's going to just basically use a Docker container, and it's going to start our web app, and now it's going to build. It's going to do a build for the Hello World application. And again, we can just toggle back and forth and we can see what's running. So we see now Docker's running, right? So deploy started. Check this out. Pretty cool. So now if we wanted to demo this, if we did this, we can hover, which is pretty good. This is actually better than GitHub code spaces, which doesn't always work when you do this. Let's see if this works. Whoa, look at that. That's pretty cool. I like it. And look, and there's even a magic pony here. Pretty interesting stuff here. So, not bad. Interesting. So, and then if I wanted to so it says that it's watching for changes, but because it's a container, I don't think that's true. Like if I just change this, I don't think it's really going to be able to make that change. Or is it? Oh, wow. So it does. It rebuilds it. Wow, that's pretty cool. So in real time, it's going to return this message right here. So it's running, and we'll say, and I changed it. Try that. So it's, wow, that's really fast. I guess because Kubernetes is so fast, I should be able to look, it's running and I changed it. Wow, I have to admit, I'm pretty impressed. This is a cool environment here for Google Cloud, and definitely worth playing around with. So the way you get here is you just open up the Cloud Shell editor, you go to this Cloud Code, Cloud Run thing here, and play around with it. So I guess the last thing I'll do is I'm going to stop this thing. Although I will in the future want to come back. Oh, look at this, really cool stuff. Great debugger. We also have access to the APIs. Like, whoa, look at this. This is crazy. Finishing cleanup, and we can get out of this. So if we wanted to look at, I don't know, let's do maybe natural language API. That would be a good one. So it says, if we want to use this to make calls, ensure the API is enabled. It is enabled. Configure authentication for runtime for Python. So you would do that. So let's try this out. Quit. So if I pip install. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll just try it out. There you go, pip install. And then try the API. Okay, let's try out the API here. Let's kick the tires on this. Why is this not? Oh, in the next tab. So we're in the process of creating more snippets. Detect, analyze syntax of cloud storage file. How about sentiment? Let's do sentiment. It's a lot of code for sentiment, but sure. Let's just do this. Let's just touch sent.py, and we'll go back to this, and we'll just throw it in there. Woo. I don't know what that was. Okay, and then if we type in Python cent, um, install the formatting tool, which really is super helpful. And if we say black cent, where did it put it? I need to use virtual environment. Shoot, we'll just say Python 3-mv and v. Although, maybe I don't want to do that, but which black? I would think it would be in site user local. Where did I put this? Local in black. There we go. Sense. Ooh. Cannot parse line 4. Oh, yeah, this is totally mangled. So what's weird is I copied it and it still mangled it. So basically copy paste doesn't work. Good to know. That's kind of unfortunate. And then let's try again. That works. And if we do that, say Python sense, we at least know that the first part of it works. But yeah, then we would do this. We just put this in there. Hello world, grab this, or let's do one at a time. So this is not fully baked out. We need to get a little better at this. And we'll do this. Here we go. And then we'll print out the sentiment analysis. That. There we go. Format this. And then we run it. We run it. There you go. Pretty cool. So I got a couple things working. I got the local cloud run, which again just takes a container and deploys it. And then I also got the NLP thing. So I like their new setup here. It makes me want to code more inside of here. And I haven't even tried the rest of the stuff here. So this is good stuff for me to play around with. I'll definitely spend some more time with this in the future, and I'll take a look at this again in a couple weeks.